remember when these cars first came out, and through their entire life cycle, this was the media darling of like the hot hatch world. And it was always just, the answer is Fiesta ST. Like the joke that the answer is always Miata with rear-wheel drive cars. It's like the answer was, for a while, get a Fiesta ST if you were looking at a front-wheel drive hot hatch. And this is my first time spending any like extended time in one. And so I'm gonna try to see if that's still the case. Yeah, it's like right there in second through that turn, you can feel the front scrambling for grip, but not in a way where it's like trying to rip the wheel out of your hands. Like some higher horsepower front wheel drive cars, especially older ones where they don't have all the trick like torque vectoring and stuff, it can be like annoying in the way that they torque steer. This isn't like trying to rip it out of your hands, and I think that at this power level, it's totally manageable and you can use all the power. And even though like this has kind of the characteristics of a momentum car, it's fast enough, like this engine is powerful enough that it's really not a momentum car. Like you can kind of blast between corners with this thing, even with the stock power level. It's so light and it has so much torque that it actually feels pretty quick, like corner to corner. You get on the highway and you start winding it out, like yeah, it's not gonna feel fast. But out here, it's a lot of fun. This seems to be the sweet spot in terms of like capability and fun, where you can hustle this thing down a back road and it's a pretty serious little car. Like you can totally keep up with some stuff that people would be surprised by. Maybe not anymore because people know how well these cars drive now. Just feeling the rear end kind of dance around with you like that on a back road is so much more fun than just having it as like kind of dead weight, as so many front wheel drive cars are kind of set up that way, where you just kind of plow through corner, torque steer, and the rear end is just there doing nothing. And that's what makes some of these front wheel drive cars like such a one-dimensional driving experience. And I think that's why this car received the praise that it did. It is far from a one-dimensional car dynamically. I would love to see what this thing is like on an autocross, because I think that it would just be an absolute blast. It feels like, it is light, but it feels so light that placing it on the road is so much fun. And the front end is actually relatively sharp, like it dives in pretty quickly. The steering ratio itself is pretty quick. It's actually quicker than I expected. It's even engaging and fun, like way below the limit, like 5/6, you're just cruising down a back road. And that's a good thing, because some cars, if you just have to like beat the snot out of them and approach the limit every second of the drive to make it feel special or make it feel engaging, it's at some point that's just not that much fun unless you're using it on a track, because you can't drive like that all the time. But this thing, no matter kind of the pace, it feels special, which is funny for like a Fiesta, but it absolutely is. There's so much going on, like mid-corner. The rear kind of chasing you, it wags its tail a little bit and rotates. You're scrambling for grip at the front end as you leave the corner, and just riding kind of a surging like wave of torque from this little 4-cylinder. Listening to that makes sense. It's a big experience from a little car. And even though it is like pretty softly sprung, the body control is totally there. Like it does not feel like this soft, floaty mess. Man, that is a lot of fun. I think it can sometimes be difficult when you've just read and watched so much about a car and you've built up this idea of what it's going to be in your head as to how good it's going to be. You're kind of stacking the cards against a car, and I think, thankfully, this delivered on the promises of what I've kind of read and watched over the years. It is that fun, dynamically pleasant little hot hatch that people kind of called it. It does everything really well. The only real complaint I have about it is maybe that, like, the ergonomics of the pedal box. The pedal spacing is a little tough for heel toe, but for the money and the kind of miles that you get these, like lower mileage examples, it makes a lot of sense. Because you can have just as much fun in this, I think, as you can in some of those more serious cars, like some of the cheaper BMWs and stuff. I mean, dollar for dollar, yes, like my 335 is a nicer car to live with every day than this. It's just better built, it's a little faster. But this is so much lighter that it feels about as fast on a back road. And the tightest of back roads, this is going to leave my 335 for dead. And it's going to be way less of a maintenance nightmare to upkeep. So if you're looking for something that's just going to be fun that you can use every day, these kind of make a lot of sense, especially when you compare them to some of like the inexpensive used European stuff that you can get. And yes, those cars get you more like kind of cachet, more kudos from people online maybe. But if your goal is to just have fun as a driver on a back road or just in your day-to-day commute, this is going to do it probably just as much as some of those BMWs and stuff. It's not going to replace like an older rear-wheel drive experience from something like a BMW. It's just different. Like, I would have this as my everyday car and have an M3 or a Z4M as my like weekend toy or track toy. Because on a daily basis, I think that you're going to get more just like genuine fun moments out of this than some of those more serious cars. I really do. And I'm someone that's almost exclusively owned those more serious quote-unquote cars, where at least in their time, they were more fixated on kind of numbers and going quickly and stuff, whereas this is really just focused on let's have a good time.